Hi guys, let's talk about the moratorium. So that's the big news today, right? Um, I think the banks, they are not caught off guard by Bank Negara this round because they were the ones who grouped up and go back to Bank Negara and show Bank Negara the account books, how many billions they are losing, right? From the 6 months of moratorium without insurance, not insurance, without interests. And it may seem easy to think that, hey, they have all this money in the bank. Like, what's wrong recollecting them back 6 months later? But you should know this: banks themselves are managing our money. The money that we put into banks, they pay us an interest, they pay the staffs, they manage the risks. All these are costs. And you can't just have a huge chunk of money and not collecting it back. Okay? I know in February or early April, they all announced, oh, we'll be offering moratorium, blah, 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 no interest, blah, blah. I don't know. I do not know how that contradicts with now what transpired in between. But basically, the banks literally group up and screamed at Bank Negara. I can imagine that. All right. So yes, this is a major backtrack, and it is not as insignificant as it seems, because to our mindset, is to us, we're like, hey, okay, let's say that 6 months, how much are the interest? Let's say your car loan is 3%, and 3% per annum, 6 months, prorate by 6 months, and then we will gladly pay that interest rate, right? But it's not as simple as that, because car loans, in a way, let's think of a level up, a more serious way of thinking. Car loans, they calculate your entire loan amount. That means they lend you this money, the entire money is already taken off from someone, right? Because the money already goes out to the car dealers, right? They already paid them, okay? And that money is, of course, from the people who bank in their monies and all that, right? And when banks charge an interest, let's say 3%, your bank loan is 9 years, right? Bobby's favorite, 9 years, guys, 9 years. So 9 years is X amount of interest, right? So when you do your calculation, you divide by 108 months. So for us, would have think that, hey, it's evenly divided, but it's not, because the banks want to earn back their money first. So in the early 2 years or 3 years, most of the repayment that you are paying, very little goes back to your principal, most goes to the interest. So we also understand that. So we could have been thinking that, okay, I accept that fact. Let's say per month I pay 1,000 ringgit. Maybe 500 ringgit goes to the interest. Only 500 goes to my principal. Fair. Alright? So how much is that interest? Okay, 6 months. Okay, you calculate and then you charge me. And apparently, no as well. So how the moratorium thing works now, since the banks backtracked and literally squeeze our balls, giving us a yes or no. No means you continue paying. Yes, this is it. Say yes, and you cannot argue. So they bring out the little fine print called APR, right? The interest rates of what they will be charging us is very different from our car loan interest. It's like their doomsday worst case scenario interest rates. So some people, their bank loan is 2.5%, and then their APR is 4.5. Some, they are 4%, and then they got 7%. Some are, I don't know. Basically, everyone has a different APR. Okay, 5.09, 6.12, whatever nonsense. All right, everyone has a different one. So I made a lot of phone calls today. Okay, I even called to people who work in banks, people who work in Bank Negara, blah blah blah. At first, when this thing transpired, uh, there's a lot of information going on. So finally got it. So what this is that the amount that you owe, let's say there's no nice guy here anymore. The banks are not nice guys. They see you as people who owe them money. 6 months. You delay your payment, that payment we have to charge an interest. And that interest rate is not even the interest rate they agree with us when we sign the contract, you know, that 3.5%, 3.2%. No, no, no. This part I don't feel the banks are being uh, in a way too honest about it, because there are a few ways to go about it. The amount that we owe you, you could have just spread it across the 108 months and then we'll just pay, right? But what they did, from a lot of people who experience it from a bank today that already have a portal for you to press yes, no, okay? The bank starts with P, all right? It seems like you don't have any way, they don't even want to spend the time and effort to go through with every single person. Would you like option A or option B? That's going to take up a lot of manpower, a lot of time, a lot of paperwork, right? A lot of ding-donging. They don't want to go through that. They just give you, boom, that's it, take it or leave it. So, this, in my opinion, feels a bit, wow. But for them, it's like, hey, we lend you the money to buy cars and blah 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 and all that. So you delayed for we allow you to delay for 6 months. There's no free lunch. Let's put it this way. Okay, so they automatically assume that you're not going to pay anything for the whole of 9 months, and this 6 months that you owe them will only be paid out at the end of it. You only have two payment windows. You either pay in October 2020, which is the end of this moratorium. You pay up that 6 months. So basically, for the whole 6 months, you save up. You purposely don't pay. You save up for 6 months, and then October, boom, then you don't kena this interest. All right. If not, you can only pay at the end of your tenure. Amazing, right? It's like, huh? I can't pay. There's no other payment options. Maybe they haven't had the time to work out the intrinsics. But basically it works like this, all right? So per month your installment is 1,000 ringgit. So 6 months you're not paying, you owe us 6,000 ringgit, all right? This 6,000 ringgit, they will look at your APR rate. Let's say your bank loan interest rate is 3.5%, but your APR is 6%. Immediately they will take this amount, this 6,000 ringgit amount, and multiply by the APR rate. So they take 6,000 ringgit, multiply by 6%, which is your annual interest rate, and then they divide by 12 months. Okay, so 6,000 ringgit multiply 6% is 360 ringgit per year interest rate. Okay, you divide by 12 months, it is 30 ringgit per day. 30 ringgit per month. 30 ringgit per month. Let's say you just took your loan in March. You made your first payment already. And then from April onwards, you're not paying anything. You took a 9-year loan. So it means you have 107 months to go, right? Because 9 years is 108. I'm very familiar with that. 30 times 107. So the interest rate is 3,210 ringgit. So what does this mean is that, let's say your entire loan tenure is supposed to end in 9 years later, 2029, right? You're supposed to end 2029, but because of this 6 months, the whole thing got pushed for another 6 months, right? So it goes into 2030, right? 2030. So it goes into 2030, another 6 months, right? Because you skip this 6 months, you add 6 months at the end. So by your final payment, which is still what is according to the paper, you have to add up this amount, 3,210 ringgit. Yeah, you have to add up this interest rate that was incurred for what you owe them for the 6 months, for the whole of 107 months later. That's what it means. Okay? So no free lunch, nobody lose anything, and nobody earn anything. Of course, if you're a good boy and paid up until the end, the banks get to earn more on paper lah. Okay, on paper they get to earn more. So for those of you who have the money in the bank, you didn't lose your job. You still have all your. That means, let's say you work in the pharmaceutical line, right? Or your company sells face masks, right? So you are totally not affected by this. No point taking this because you just put kena quite a bit of interest. All right. Of course, if you are financially very well-being, you take your 6 months savings from all the money that you didn't pay your housing loan, you didn't pay your car loan or whatever, you take all this money, right, and go and buy some renminbi, right, the Chinese currency, right, I believe by 9 years later, right, it's going to be worth a lot. And you can pay back this amount and still earn some money. Yeah, that's what I think. Alright, so yes, this is no longer a dessert. It is just a breather for you. It is just a breather for me, for us. See, like me, our industry, you see, when the market is down, advertising is down. Alright, so when advertising is down, we just can't, we have no income. And I am trying my very, very best to not cut a single cent of my team's salary. I still pay them on time, like I always do for the past 10 years. I never drag my suppliers a single cent. I never drag anybody any money. I never owe anybody any money. I never borrow or any money from anyone. Okay, I've never done that. But this time is a big challenge because not only I have burned up all the money I have in our banks, I also burn up my own savings, basically the money that I will be using to buy milk powder. Okay, so we just work hard lor, and try to survive. And of course I appreciate my team a lot. All of them came to me and said that, bro, just cut, even if you don't pay us, we're okay, we all have savings and all that. So I'm very, very glad with that. So yep, I just have to take the bite, right? Take up that 6 months, stop paying all the nonsense toys that I committed before the MCR. Okay, and remember this for the rest of my life. This whole thing that happened, I think all of us in this generation can be considered lucky to have something like this happening. Of course, those who unfortunately lost their lives, rest in peace, and these are unprecedented times, and for something like this, like we said, life isn't measured by time or how long we live. Life is measured by how much memories we bring together with us, right? And interesting. So yep, that's the whole moratorium thing.
Ladies and gentlemen,